What's up everybody, and welcome back. I have a treat for you today, and if you don't like it, I don't care, cause it's a treat for me, and it hits all the right feels. Today I'm recommending Bus for Two, which is being made by Toyobayashi Sakane. It's 4 chapters and is a romance school life slice of life comedy about Shunpei, who lives in Hanatani and goes to school in Azeno town, which is important because it means he lives in the middle of nowhere and has to take a long bus ride to get to school. At school, we find out where Shunpei lives only has a 3,000 person population in it, and he lives in such a remote part of the remote area that there isn't even a convenience store, only one vending machine. And that may not seem important, but remember, so Shunpei and his friends are all second-year middle school students who make up 19 out of the 3,000 population, and all 19 of them have made up the same class since preschool, which leaves Shunpei feeling extremely bored all the time. But every morning on his commute to school, he takes the bus with the one girl who is no longer in the class. The two exchange looks, but don't speak, and it isn't until him and his friends get off the bus that we learn that the girl who none of them speak to is An Takayagawa, a former classmate who goes to a private middle school now that's even farther away. And since she goes there, the friends think An thinks she's better than them now since she goes to school in the city. Shunpei doesn't really buy it, wondering if that's really what she thinks because he always sees her studying on the bus ride to and from school and remembers her being the most serious and studious one out of all of them. So he sees her the same as she was when she was part of their class and just doesn't feel like there's anything to talk to her about until he notices the vending machine is gone. I told you to remember it. The shock of seeing it gone leads to Shunpei saying it out loud and An reacting because she's just as surprised and disappointed and comments, "It was there this morning, right?" Shunpei just responds with, "Guess so," before the two go about the rest of their ride in silence like usual. It isn't until An gets off the bus that Shunpei beats himself up for the lame response, seeing as it's the first time they've talked in 2 years, but both seem happy they talked again, and it is amazing. Maybe that's not enough for you, but chapter 1 had me sold out by the last page, and it only gets better. I desperately want to talk about it, but I want you to read it for yourself, because so far this is one of the most precious manga I may have ever read. Each chapter is 20 pieces of gold as the story progresses at one of the most natural paces I have ever seen, because the story so far is really about 2 friends. I don't even want to say childhood friends, because I don't know if they had a closer friendship between the two than they did with their other classmate, but it's a story of 2 friends who, because of life, not proximity, and personal interpretation, stopped being friendly and talking to each other. There was no fight or beef, just a simple social departure by going to a different school. And now, because of a vending machine, and because neither of their opinions about each other changed, their relationship is slowly and realistically being rectified. I'm not going to go through the other 3 chapters because, again, I want you to read it, but I do have to spoil their next encounter and one thing An says later on to justify what I just said. So because they spoke briefly last time, and because they both enjoyed it and it broke the ice, now the two feel more comfortable with speaking to each other, but only when the start of the conversation has a backing. So in chapter 2, because Shunpei missed the bus in the morning, in the evening when they're riding back, An asks why he wasn't on the bus in the morning, because they're the only 2 that ride it. So he answers, and she just says she was wondering what happened, and the 2 go back to not talking because they're not comfortable just having a conversation yet. But they do silently wave goodbye. Like I said, they're friends who silently drifted apart because An changed school rules, but because neither of their opinions about each other changed. Rekindling friendship isn't a hard thing to do, and An even admits she didn't leave because she had issues with anyone, so she's obviously open to their relationship starting back up as well. This manga is absolutely fantastic, and the characters are a huge part of it because they're so good and approach their situation so realistically that you have probably experienced interactions like these yourself. Shunpei, other than being tired because he has to wake up early every day, seems like a normal guy. He doesn't try and overthink things and just takes the day as it comes and the interactions as they come. And when I say it's realistic and he takes it as it comes, I mean like how An asked a question one day, so Shunpei asks one the next. An, other than being reserved and apparently very smart and hardworking, seems like a very normal girl as well, who's also just taking things as they come. They're fantastic and have only gotten better the more you get to know them. So the only thing I hope with this manga is that it keeps going. It is the author's first serialization and it's pure gold. So I need it to keep going and I need to find out what the release schedule will be. It has 4 chapters and all came out in a week. So obviously that's not how it will be, but I need it to be at least bi-weekly. And if you choose to read it, I hope you feel the same. So if this looks interesting to you, check it out and like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want more recommendations, check out the Why You Should playlist linked below. And if you want merch, that's down there as well. But other than that, I'll see all of you in the next one.